Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? And welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about cheaters in Tarkov because it seems to be the big clickbait topic that everybody's been talking about recently. And I just said, you know what? It's been a while since we've talked about cheaters in EFT. Why don't I chime in, throw my 2 cents in on it, maybe give a little bit of advice as to how you guys can avoid cheaters, since that last video I made was, I feel like a year, maybe even more ago, when I talked about how to basically find, you know, quote unquote good servers. Yeah, I'm basically just going to give my thoughts and opinions on, you know, everybody saying they're running into cheaters all the time in EFT, and I'm just going to shed my 2 cents on it, and then maybe we'll go over some comments on Twitter. I put out this tweet: Tarkov players and streamers, I'm interested to hear about your experience with cheaters in the game. How often do you run into them? Roughly what percentage of players do you genuinely believe are sus? So I'm going to first give my point of view on this, and then I'll give that little bit of advice, and then we can maybe look into what other people in the community are saying, along with other things that I've heard from people in my own community, you know, from the stream and YouTube comments and stuff like that. So lads, just before we get into the video, I would just like to point out that, look, I got a new condom for my mic. It's pretty much clean. It's got some cat hair on it already, but it's much cleaner than, you know, the last one. So enjoy to everybody who's been hating on my old mic cover. And also, lads, we're trying to hit 100,000 subs before the end of the year. So if you guys enjoy my content, you enjoy this video, please make sure to consider subscribing. I'd very much appreciate it. Also, you know, give it a like if you enjoy. So lads, enjoy the video. I'll leave it up to you guys then, you know, based on the information you receive in this video, you know, what you guys think, and maybe I can change some of your opinions on a few things. But anyways, let's get into it. So lads, Tarkov is an FPS game. Okay, you know, break it down, bare bones, FPS game. Doesn't matter what FPS game it is, there will be cheaters, be it Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Valorant, Siege, even like DayZ, PUBG. People still cheat on PUBG. Like, you name the game, there are going to be cheaters. In like an FPS title, it is probably the most prominent genre of game that is cheated in. The only other games that would probably come close would be games like, you know, RuneScape, World of Warcraft. But, you know, FPS has always been notoriously plagued with people who cheat, even though, you know, you still get cheaters in games like League of Legends that are scripting and stuff like that. It's nowhere near as prevalent as cheaters in the FPS genre, because in the FPS genre, it's very easy, and there's millions of different types of cheats. You've got like aim locks, you've got wall hacks, you've got, you know, loot detectors, you've got radar, you've got all this other crap. And you've even got cheats that are taking place on a different computer than the computer that you're playing on. So, for example, one of the radar hacks that was going around there for a long time, streamers who have 3 monitors. This is part of the reason why a lot of people are saying, ooh, all streamers use radar. Why do you need 3 monitors? Well, for me, my main monitor here is my Samsung 27-inch, whatever hertz, whatever bullshit. This monitor over here to my left, I have OBS. It has my alerts. It has my chat. And it has, like, you know, streaming, stop streaming, my scenes and all that stuff. And then over here on this screen, I have OBS, which is used for my display capture that I send through my capture card to my streaming PC. And then I have Discord open. And then I just always have a browser open with Twitter, Twitch, and then YouTube. You know, something comes up we want to watch, or if I'm taking a break to eat something, we'll just watch something on YouTube. So that's what I generally have on my 3 monitors. However, if you were, you know, to use a radar and you had 2 computers, you could have Tarkov on your main computer, and then you could have a radar on your other computer that is giving you information about where players are in your raid. It's obviously a lot harder to ban you, because if you're using that and you're using a VPN on your other PC, it's obviously a lot harder to detect. So a lot of people are like, oh my God, all these streamers are probably using radar. How else could they know? But it's not the case. It's not the case for a lot of reasons. One big reason is, guys, a lot of the Tarkov streamers, you know, have been around for a long time. A lot of the big name people have been around for a very long time. And trust me, when I say this, they would have been caught by now if they were using cheats. It just happens. You look up any compilation of anybody getting caught cheating before, and like, it could just be the simplest thing of somebody tabbing out. You can tell by the way they play. You know, it's usually very obvious that somebody is cheating when you watch like footage of somebody being accused of cheating, you know, namely, you know, my recent video. Beyond that, players within Tarkov that aren't streamers, that are just regular players playing the game to cheat, there obviously are cheaters. I'm not trying to say there isn't. I get killed by cheaters, you know, every now and again. Usually, I don't know, maybe like 2 to 5 times a week, where I'm like, okay, that guy is definitely cheating. But on the flip side of that, you also have, maybe he was stream sniping. You know, maybe he's a guy who doesn't like me or something like that. He's been sniping my raids. He figured out what servers I play on. And you can never really be 100% sure they're cheating unless they're you know, shooting you through walls, or they're speed hacking or something like that. But to be honest, I haven't seen a speed hacker in years. I see people talking about, yeah, there was this guy zooming around the map just killing everybody. I haven't seen a speed hacker in a long time, nor have I ever seen any footage of it in a really long time. But I do think that there is a pretty massive, you know, overestimation by the community of how many people are cheating. And I reckon a big part of that is because a lot of people are playing on the wrong servers. Now, before you say it, I know it's a dumb thing to say. People are playing on the wrong servers. Well, how are we supposed to know what servers to play on, Mr. Streamer Man? Blah, blah, blah. I can tell you guys that the East Coast US servers, for me at least, are not great. The only times I play on the East Coast US servers anymore is when I'm playing with friends from NA, because I can't connect to any other NA servers without, you know, getting ping kicked. And then, you know, for anybody in NA that wants to play with people on EU, generally we all play on, you know, East Coast US servers. My ping isn't too bad. It's between like 100 and 120, which is okay. It's very much playable for me. And I remember even way back in the day, I used to play on East Coast US servers primarily because for whatever reason, the PvP was just better and the servers were just more populated. Maybe it was because there was a lot of European players playing on East Coast NA, and then a lot of people in, I don't know, Central NA were playing on East Coast servers for some reason. I don't know. Now I've found that every time I run into cheaters on those servers, it's definitely a lot more blatant. It's definitely a lot more, they're just running in, you know, doing whatever, killing the people that are in their way, grabbing whatever, and then leaving, and then probably selling that for, you know, real money. They're doing RMT. And usually when you get killed by somebody like this, it's generally like a standard account name with a bunch of different numbers and whatever. And apparently those names that have like a couple of letters and then a bunch of numbers is some kind of self-service thing where they can like add each other. And it's like this big community of cheaters. I haven't seen those guys in a while. And I think that's because we're kind of late into the wipe now. And I think that the price of rubles in Tarkov compared to, you know, dollars you'd pay for them have probably dropped because the wipe has moved on, you know, past a couple of months, and you know, the player base is kind of falling down a little bit, and then we're waiting for another big update, and then it'll rise up again. You guys know, if you've been around the Tarkov community for a couple of years, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. This happens every time there's a wipe, every time there's an update. I think that there is a big influx of new players to EFT, okay? And I think there's a big influx of people that are coming from other games that aren't quite used to the somewhat, you know, jankiness or desynciness that Tarkov tends to display sometimes, where you get kind of killed around a corner, but on their screen you're standing right out in the open, or, you know, you're just getting one tapped out of nowhere, and then you're thinking, I couldn't see them, they must be cheating. And I think that a lot of the accusations that are coming out from people are generally from people that are kind of the loud minority, that are sort of coming over, they're kind of new to EFT. And look, I'm sure they are actually running into, you know, genuine cheaters. I'm sure that is the case. But not everybody that kills you is cheating. And there's just a lot of people out there that are very, very good at this game. They know all the pathing very well. And you might think, oh, he's using radar because he knew there was going to be a guy there. No, he knew there was a guy there because he's played this map 3,000 times. And he's spawned in every spawn. He knows the timings of where people are going to be. He knows where to expect people to come from if he's pushed inside, or, you know, all this kind of stuff. You got to remember, there's a lot of people who've been playing Tarkov basically non-stop for the last 5 years. You know, like me. Like, I haven't really stopped playing Tarkov. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of false allegations coming from people that I feel like aren't really qualified to, you know, make those kind of accusations. And then you see them on Reddit, you see them on Twitter, you see them in Twitch chats, you know, people coming in or saying, oh, I just got killed by this guy, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is where my piece of advice is going to come in, okay? I want everybody to listen to me very carefully. This links back to what I was saying about earlier. You got to play on the right servers, okay? So, for me, East Coast US servers, I don't know which one specifically. I pick whichever East Coast servers I can connect to, and then I just send it. That's it. There's no trick to it. I haven't, like, tested out those servers ever because I've never been bothered. However, what I can tell you is that I have tested out a lot of the European servers, because there was a point in time where I was playing for about a month, and whatever servers I kept connecting to was just the sussest shit going. And also, like, the pretty bad, like, server quality. I think I just got, like, really unlucky with the ones I was connecting to. So one day I said, fine, fuck this. I went to my server list. I picked from ping low to high. I picked the first server closest to me, which was, I believe, London, which is like my lowest ping server that I can connect to. And then I played on that for the entire day, noted how the experience was. And then the next day I would switch to the next lowest ping, and then the next lowest ping, the next lowest ping. I did this for like 2 weeks, and I tried all these servers out. And then every now and again, I'll just switch between servers when one server starts being kind of weird, and, you know, I'm getting some weird deaths, and I'm noticing like some weird names are like kind of, you know, killing me where they probably shouldn't be. I'm just picking the next server down the list and then I go on. And I've noted like which ones are good, which ones are bad. And lads, no, I'm not going to tell you this because your best servers are going to be different than what my best servers are. Also, they change all the time. Like sometimes a server will be fine for a week or two and then all of a sudden you'll notice like an influx of people cheating on it. Now you might be asking, well, why is that? Well, I have this theory that cheaters are trying to find like the lowest popped servers, and then a lot of them will put out the word saying, hey, you know, for example, Netherlands server is, you know, quiet, we should all go there so there's less chance of being reported, getting caught, getting banned, etc. And then you have like a migration of people to this server, and then all of a sudden that one's polluted and then you have to move on to the next one. So the best bit of advice I can give you guys is sort your ping high to low, pick your servers, and then move down the list and do it one by one for a week or two, and then note down which ones you thought were good, which ones you thought were bad, play on the ones you thought were good, and then keep a list of those. And then if ever those servers start going kind of shitty, switch to the next one down on your list. And that's pretty much the only thing you can do. One thing I have to say is RMT is obviously a big issue. Yes, labs at the start of the wipe is definitely fairly prevalent. Last couple of wipes, I'll play labs at the start just to see if I can get a quick come up, and then usually I end up dying to some naked dude with an SKS just shooting me through walls, and then I move on and then I don't play labs for a while until it kind of quiets down a bit. But the start of the wipe is definitely worse for cheating. Right now, it's definitely nowhere near as bad as it is at the start of the wipe. The start of the wipe is the worst time, but it's also the time where you'll kind of see less of them because there's a lot more people playing, and it kind of evens out a little bit, but you definitely run into more at, you know, the start of the wipe. I've had this argument so many times with people who are like, EFT is like the worst game for cheaters, and it's like, no, but it's definitely one of the worst games to get killed by cheaters in it, you know what I mean? And you know, yes, does it suck to die to cheaters in EFT? Of course it does. It sucks to die to cheaters in any game, but at the same time, it's just kind of one of those things we have to deal with. BattlEye will never be perfect. The anti-cheat will never be perfect. There's never been a perfect anti-cheat developed. You know why? Because cheat developers are making money from doing it, and they will continue to make money from doing it as long as these games exist. And that is just the way it goes. Like, people cheat in Rust. The game wipes like once a week. People still cheat in Rust. What is the point? What is the point? Why would you cheat in Rust? You're such a loser. These massive clans have people that play on alt accounts from like VPNs, and they cheat on those accounts to like win the server. Like, you're cringe. What is wrong with you? So now I think I'm gonna go over some of the Twitter comments. I got one here from Crayson. I think I run into once a day or every other day. The amount of blatant cheaters I run into is like once or twice a week. I feel a lot more radar ESP stuff is way more common now, not so much the aimbot stuff. And I absolutely agree with Grayson there. I think a lot of people are low-key using wall hacks because it's probably a lot harder to detect than, you know, the instant aim hack kind of stuff or the radar thing. Yeah, I also know that Landmark kind of pointed this out as well a couple of months ago. I don't know where this stands. I swear to God, one of these days I will make an account on all these different cheating websites, and I will read the updates and I'll read through the forums and shit, because I've been saying I've been going to do this for years and just kind of like see what they're doing. But this one texture hack or whatever that's apparently undetectable and tons of people are using it. I don't know what the deal is with that now. Maybe people are still using it. Maybe they figured out a way to ban it. I don't know, because I haven't heard anything about it since. But I definitely do think that there is some kind of wall hack or like radar thing going around that a lot of people are using just in order to get set up in certain places and, you know, predict people coming through walls and stuff. So another comment here coming in from Lexi. Well, this is my first wipe. I ran into about 3, all very blatant scav cheaters. Also a very good point. Although now that we have the PMC names tied to the scav names, which is nice. Finally, they did that update. I've been waiting years for them to do that, because people before would cheat on scav runs and basically get away with it scot-free, more or less. Got a comment here from Zizarin. If any of you guys know the game Path of Exile, he's huge in that. In all my time playing, less than 400 hours, I've encountered 3 cheaters. That's like insta-wiping the entire map through walls. I pretty much never accuse anyone of cheating unless it's ridiculous, because I felt like people were cheating a lot. I would probably quit. Yeah, and that's honestly kind of the same sentiment that I shared. There was a point in time in Tarkov where, I don't know how many people will remember this, but this was before Tarkov had anti-cheat. And there's a lot of people, man, that, God, you think you've had bad days in Tarkov. Back when there was no anti-cheat, you would literally run into cheaters like damn near every single raid. And I pushed through this and played this even still through, and it was so bad. It was so bad back then. And a lot of us, you know, pushed through and kept playing it. This was around the time that I took like Jesus, I think I stopped playing Tarkov for like 2 or 3 months. And yeah, Jesus, what an absolute disastrous time. But yeah, as you said, you know, if I felt where people were cheating a lot, I'd probably quit. I'm kind of the same way, but I haven't been running into that many cheaters, again, because I'm careful about what servers I pick and stuff. So Tarkov's a very big ego game too. Tarkov's changed from this kind of very niche community of people that just kind of loved playing it to this incredibly competitive, like, you know, title. And it's the sort of vibe in the community has definitely changed quite a bit. And I get it, you know, any game that, you know, gains a lot of popularity over a short period of time is going to attract a lot of these players. When you get the likes of, you know, all of the big competitive names coming over to try out the game. I know a lot of people from like TSM, obviously, you know, Shroud was playing it, Summit was playing it. And then we have some of the, you know, the best players that are on it, you know, like Willers and like Landmark. And it has definitely shifted the kind of play style of the average player to where new players are jumping into Tarkov and they've kind of watched these streamers for a while and they're kind of adapting their play styles a little bit. You know, it's not a bad thing, and I'm not blaming anybody for doing it. It's the natural order of things, you know what I mean? Just because somebody plays the game one way and they have a community that has kind of not so much copied their play style, but, you know, gained inspiration by, you know, how they play. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no point in, you know, like, because I've seen a lot of people that give, you know, these streamers shit, and it's like, look, man, they play the game the way they want to. It's not their fault that, you know, they're influencing other people to do it, and there's technically nothing really wrong with what they do. It's I don't blame any of those guys. I know the community does, and I think that's kind of silly. I don't think anybody should, you know, blame anybody for influencing playstyles or whatever. Like, the game is going to evolve, the playstyles are going to change, and that's just, you know, that's just kind of the way it is. That's about all I've got to go over there today. I don't want to ramble on. This video is already like 20 minutes long. I think I'm just going to leave it there, guys. But my closing words: if you die in Tarkov, don't immediately call cheats. Maybe watch the clip back, think about what happened, think about what you did wrong, maybe give the benefit of the doubt before you go to Reddit or Twitter or your favorite Twitch streamers chat and like spread around that you keep getting killed by cheaters. Try the thing I said about servers. Maybe you'll have a much better experience. Maybe you're on an unlucky server that happens to be plagued at the moment. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me, lads. So guys, if you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know about your experience with EFT this wipe. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out, my dudes.